Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Cringe, am I right? Ahoy, my lads. So I've been having this microphone for about a year now, and seeing how there are not that many reviews on the internet of it, I thought I'd share my experience, tell you about whether this microphone is the right one for you or if it's the wrong one, and why so. But first, let me tell you a little about how I actually got this microphone. So, I started streaming about a year and a half ago, and my first microphone was actually a USB microphone. This one, it's a HyperX Quadcast S, I believe it's called. And I honestly got it purely because of the RGB. It sounds great, don't get me wrong, but whenever I moved to a new place, I started having this problem of the room reverb and the fan noise from my laptop just getting into the microphone all the time, and it became super annoying. So I thought it was finally the time to upgrade to a proper, dynamic XLR microphone. And I started researching. I was considering the Podmic, Shure MV-7, SM-7B, RE-320, but ultimately I decided on this one. It is definitely not the best sounding microphone, but for my purposes and my conditions, I thought that this was probably the best choice for me. But this video is not really about me, is it? Let's think about how this microphone can be good for you and if you're the right person to buy this microphone. Reason number one is price to performance. Let me explain a little bit further. The most common dynamic microphones that people consider buying for streaming are, on the cheaper side, Podmic, Procaster, Shure MV-7, and recently they come out with MV-7X, which is just an XLR version, RE-320, and then on the more expensive side it's Shure SM-7B and RE-20. Now, if we have to place them on different levels, I think Podmic, although being a great microphone, it's right about at the bottom of this chart. It has those weird problems on the high end of things, which make it sound just a little bit like a headset microphone. Then on the next level, I would put Procaster, RE-320 and Shure MV-7. Those three have different sound qualities, and I would say that RE-320 is like a little brother of RE-20, Shure MV-7 is like a little brother of SM-7B, and Procaster is like an older brother of the Podmic. What do I mean by that? I feel like RE-20 and Shure MV-7 are trying to sound like their older brothers, but they're not quite succeeding in that, whereas Procaster has this good quality radio-like sound, and I don't feel like it's trying to be anything more than that. Price-wise, however, Procaster, at the time when I bought it, it was only like 50 euros more expensive than the Podmic, so 50% more expensive. And I would say it's about 30 to 40% better than the Podmic in terms of sound. But then if we look at the higher end of like Shure SM-7B and RE-20, those are at least 2 times more expensive than the Procaster, while sounding 50 to 70% better. They definitely don't sound like they are 2 times more expensive. Reason number 2, sound rejection. If you watch Podcaster's channel, where he reviews all of the dynamic microphones side by side, Procaster was the best at rejecting background noise that is not directly in front of the microphone. And if you're, let's say, streaming from a laptop with really loud fans, or if you have a loud AC in your room, or you generally live in a loud area, this microphone would be the best out of everything. And now let's discuss why this microphone might not be the best microphone for you. Yes, I had a haircut. It's been like a week actually. The old file got corrupted, so I had to reshoot it now. Anyway, back to the microphone. I believe that Rode Procaster, or any XLR microphone for that matter, should not be your first microphone. Actually no, let me clarify that. If you're just starting out with streaming or any other form of multimedia content and words like compressor, noise gate or equalizer sound like I'm speaking a different language, then stay away from this microphone. You don't really need it. Go for a good USB microphone instead. Podcasters, wait, you don't go away now. For you, the story is a little bit different. If you're starting out a podcast and are planning to get a good audio interface like Rodecaster Pro 2 and choosing between Podmic, Procaster and Shure SM-7B, then get the Procaster. On the other hand, if you're looking to have the best possible audio and are looking for that one endgame microphone, then Procaster is likely not for you as well. Go for RE-20 or Shure SM-7B, or better yet, spend this money on the sound treatment of your room, if you just have empty walls, like I do. I feel like there's that imaginary barrier in streaming specifically, when the audio quality is good, you know? And USB microphones can easily go over that barrier, but only if you have good sound treatment of the room and use audio filters to make them sound better. Speaking of audio filters, in this video right here somewhere, I explain a little bit about what they are, and so check it out if you haven't done so yet. And then if we're just talking about the processed audio, then I feel like Podmic is just about hitting that barrier, and Procaster is a little bit above that. Let's summarize. Rode Procaster is the perfect microphone for those of you who have outgrown a USB microphone and are looking to get an XLR microphone at the best price to performance ratio. It's also a great microphone for podcasting on a medium budget, and if noise rejection is important for you. However, if the price of this microphone in your area is more than $200 then buying a Podmic might be a better choice in your situation. I hope that this video has managed to help you in your buying decision, and if it did, then please hit the like button and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.